Hello friends, and welcome to another recommendation video. Today we're going to talk about some comfort reads. It has been a year, 2020 has not let up once, and I figure that we can all use some comforting reads right now. Personally, for me, comfort reads tend to be light and warm, and a lot of the times they're rereads. For you, that might be different. If you're looking for a specific kind of book for your comfort reading, feel free to ask. I will try my best to help you in the comments down below.
I can reach for a well-worn book to give me an escape.
I have read a lot of different varying genres and varying books, so I will try my hardest. I know some people find mysteries and thrillers or like cozy mysteries as like comforting, and I can definitely see a cozy being very comforting. But yeah, some people just like the action or horror or whatever you like that is a comfort read is totally valid. Go forth and have fun. Be comforted by it. If anything brings you comfort, it's great. As long as it's not hurting anyone else. So I don't know how reading could hurt anyone else. I don't want to think about it. Anyway, so I do have some recommendations of things I find comforting or things that I think you might find comforting. They're split into slight genres. I'm not going to go into everyone because that would make a very, very long video, but I will link all the titles down in the description. So let's get into some comfort reads. So for the first part, we're going to talk about romances. These are kind of randomly picked off of my like favorite shelves back there. I love a good romance as a comfort read. Especially romance is like the #1 comfort read for me, honestly, at this point. Even like new romance books are super comforting, probably because with romance you always know there's going to be a happily ever after, and like just knowing a book is going to end happy is just a nice comfort to me. So yeah, romance. I'm going to briefly talk about a few of these. So Family for Christmas by Jay Northcote. This is obviously a Christmas novel. The male romance. They like go out to meet one of the families at a cabin that I guess the family does every year, and there's a misunderstanding, so they end up like faking a relationship. There's board games, there's a stray kitten. It is warm and adorable and fluffy, and I really recommend this. I also really recommend like everything by Jay Northcote. I don't think I've read everything by him, but like I've read a lot, and they're all very, very good, very fun, fluffy. Some are harder hitting than others, but overall I think Jay Northcote would be a really good go-to romance author for some comfort read. Next we have Trade Me by Courtney Milan, but this is a male-female romance between the son of a huge, like, he runs like a huge business, basically an Apple. He runs an Apple, and a girl that is in one of his college classes, and they get into a disagreement in one of the classes about what being poor means and everything, because she is very poor. She's working all the time. She's living in a really shitty apartment, and she's just trying to get through day to day. So they get into it, and then afterwards he offers her to trade their lives and see if they can handle living in each other's lives. I will say this has heavier some heavier elements in it. The hero has an eating disorder. Heroine is struggling with financial issues and money. There's also, what else for trigger warnings? There's also some racially charged stuff in here. The hero, Blake's dad, also has a drug problem, which is only like very briefly touched on in this book, which seems like a much heavier book, but the way that Courtney Milan works all of this in is just so effortless and so well done. She's an amazing writer. She normally writes historical, but this is contemporary. And I will say that the ending of this book needs to be a movie. Like obviously this whole book needs to be a movie, but the ending, like the climax of this book, I need to see become a movie because it would look so fucking cool. Next, I'm just gonna briefly mention it because you've heard of it, and that is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Do you want to pretend that 2016 went the way we all wanted it to go? Red, White, and Royal Blue is here to help you ignore reality. For some reason that felt like a infomercial. Like, do you have a bad day? Do you want to pretend that 2016 didn't emotionally scar us for life? Yeah, this is a male romance between the son of the President of the United States and a Prince of England, and it is really good. It's really well done. It's so cute. Please read this. Next, I'm just going to talk about Annabeth Albert. This is one of the physical things I have by her. She writes a lot. This is from the Portland Heat series. I'm pretty sure these are all novellas. There's a lot of them in it too. There's at least 6. This is the first 3, served hot, baked fresh, and delivered fast, and these all take place in Portland, as the name would suggest. around like a coffee shop and like a strip of shops, I think, like on like a street. There's like a knitting store at one point and a coffee cart and the coffee shop, and it's just like a bunch of little romances in between there. I could not for the life of me give you any kind of content warning, so definitely look into this, look into the content warnings for these. But I really enjoyed all of them. They were all like really cute and warm, and I've enjoyed everything I've read by Annabeth Albert. So that is the romance section of this. Some romance. There's more, like Rafe by Rebekah Weatherspoon. I don't have it. Here's a picture. Is possibly the most wholesome and also the hottest book you will ever read. It's amazing. Rebekah Weatherspoon just can do anything, honestly. Next, we're going to talk about some genre stuff. So very briefly, I want to talk about Sarah Gailey. This is River of Teeth, which I think that this is a duology, and I believe it's called the American Hippo duology. This is amazing, as is their other book, which I now cannot remember the name of. Upright Women Wanted. Upright Women Wanted is also amazing. Those are the only 3 things I've read by them, I think. Yeah, this is historical alternate fiction. It says in the early 20th century, the United States government concocted a plan to import hippopotamuses into the marshlands of Louisiana to be bred and slaughtered as an alternative meat source. This is true. Other true things about hippos: they are savage, they are fast, and their jobs can snap a man in 2. This was a terrible plan. A bayou overrun by feral hippos and mercenary hippo wranglers from around the globe. This is just so much fun. You may have noticed there's hippos in this. They like ride hippos around. There's also feral hippos. There's like a revenge plot happening. There's queer characters. This is so much fun. Definitely recommend this. If you haven't heard about this, then I will be surprised. That's Good Omen. Yeah, I love this. This came out in the 90s. It is amazing. It is great. It is a story of the apocalypse. There's very, very dry British humor in it. The humor in this is amazing. Terry Pratchett was known for his humor, and Neil Gaiman also has a great sense of humor, and their writing just meshes so well together, and it's just so well done and interesting, and I love this book so much. I'm not going to talk about it because I will just go on and on, but this is amazing. And I also recommend the Amazon miniseries that came out last year or the year before, I don't remember anymore. Next is kind of a weird one, I think, as like comfort read, but that's The Martian by Andy Weir. This got turned into a movie. The movie was actually very fun, and I'm assuming you've heard about this. It was huge when it came out for a while and obviously got made into a movie. But if you don't know about it, this is about a man that gets stranded on Mars and then has to try and survive there. And there's just something very comforting about Mark being able to survive this thing, and his voice is so funny. You're like, basically most of the time you're like, it's him. It's his point of view. You do get some points of view of the crew and from Houston, but mostly it is just from Mark's point of view. A lot of it is from the updates that he's doing. If anyone ever finds them or whatever, he's doing like a bunch of video updates and stuff and voice recordings just to like kind of talk about what he's doing and stuff. And a lot of times he'll be like, okay, I've got it sorted out, and then the next paragraph will be like, okay, so I set something on fire, but it's fine now. And it's just really good. It's really fun. It's really great. The science in this is also really interesting. It is a lot of science though, so I will say this isn't for everyone. Next, we're going to talk about some graphic novels and comics, but we're not going to talk about them too much because these are all very well-known things. So first, Fruits Basket. This is a manga. This is amazing. It is about the Soma family who is cursed with the souls of the zodiac, and so when they are hugged by a member of the opposite sex or they are extremely weakened, they turn into that animal. And yes, this is as ridiculous as it sounds, but it is also as fucking amazing as it sounds. I have read and reread this series so many times, rewatched the show so many times. I haven't watched the new show yet, although I'm really excited for it. I gotta say, I'm really excited for it. Yeah, I just haven't been watching stuff like in general recently, so I just haven't watched it. This is amazing. Next, Lumberjanes. I've already talked about this on this channel, and also it's very well known in general. I'm sure if you know anything about comics, you have heard about Lumberjanes. If you have not, it is about a group of friends who are at a summer camp, and they're dealing with some weird stuff in the woods and at the camp itself, and it's great. It's adorable. It's queer. Highly recommend. There are like also like 13 volumes of this, so if you want something that's really going to be there for you for a while, Lumberjanes is it. There's also chapter books, I think, and this just got optioned to be a TV series, which I am very excited about. We're going to talk about The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. I love this series. I love this one in particular. There's 3 so far in this like Tea Dragon series, but also anything by Katie O'Neill is just very cute and comforting and amazing, but specifically the Tea Dragon books, I love them so much. They're so cute. The tea dragons, I want one so bad. They're so cute, and Chamomile is so grumpy looking. Anyway, I won't talk on this too much because I have already talked a lot about this book, and also it's very popular, so I'm sure you've heard about it from other people as well. Please just read The Tea Dragon Society. And all of them. All 3. Finally, we're going to talk about a very, very well-known thing. But I'm still going to mention it because, you know, maybe you just need that final push. And I'm going to show you the illustrated edition because my normal copy is still in New York because pandemic. But that is The Lightning Thief by Percy Jackson. Wow, good job, Percy. This is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Riordan. This is obviously a very, very well-known series, book, author. I love Rick's writing. I've loved all the things I've read by him. Just a very great, like, guy in general and a great author. And the Percy Jackson series is just so comforting for me because it is a reread, so like that is part of it, but also they're just so humorous and so light but also dark at the same time, because this series is middle grade, but it does also go pretty damn dark at points. I don't even really know how to fully explain this, but if you want some middle grade, funny, amazingly well done storytelling, then I cannot recommend Percy Jackson enough. Like, I'm just probably always going to be talking about this series. Also, this is not just for middle grade readers. I read this for the first time in high school, and I have reread it recently, and I will reread it again. So, like, age is fake. Read what you want. Those are some of the books I think you will find comforting, that I have found comforting in the past, and will probably be comfort reading also soon. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any books you think I will find comforting, if they're in like the same vein of any of these or whatever, please let me know in the comments down below, or even just let me know what books you find comforting that you read as comfort reads. I would love to know. And that is it. Life Before Death, Radiance.